Hello, it's Dave here and I'm with my wife Cathy.
Hello.
And we're doing the Cinemile again, where we walk to the movies and then we walk back from the movies.
Yes, and we're very excited because this is our first time doing a nighttime on our own Cinemile since our baby was born.
Yes, we're on a date.
Yes, very exciting.
This is our first time we've been on a date together in quite a while.
Thrilling, and we are
it's so intimate, just you, me, and all the listeners.
And we are going to see The Post, which is the movie starring Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks about the publication of the Pentagon Papers.
Steven Spielberg
directed, and
John Williams
scored, and Steven Spielberg has not been nominated for Best Director, albeit the movie has been nominated for Best Picture, so some controversy. And Meryl Streep
but that's because there's, what is there, 9 or 10 Best Picture slots and only 5 director slots.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So
I'm just telling some facts about the movie.
A weird thing.
And Meryl Streep officially has been nominated 600 times now, and Tom Hanks isn't nominated. So people have been crying out for the fact that he's not been
crying
nominated.
Out?
People have been.
Who are these people?
And it's interesting because
name one person who's crying out.
I think
Tom
there's too
Hanks
many for me to mention. And it's funny because Tom Hanks used to be like the darling of the Oscars, right? So he won for Big, Forrest Gump, Philadelphia. Sure, he'd had the nominations.
Did he win for all those?
Yeah, he won 3.
I love Tom Hanks.
I mean, I love Tom Hanks too. He's fabulous. So it's just interesting that there's only 2 nominations, because I feel like in another year this is the kind of movie that would have swept the board. But enough about the Oscars. We're very excited to be going to see this. Have you seen even a trailer for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. It looks amazing. I mean, there's not much to say.
I'm excited. I love movies about journalists. So I, as you know, I studied to be a journalist.
I do know that, yes, about my own
husband. I don't know if you knew that about me, because you were there. And
you failed.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't fail. That makes it sound like I failed. I got.
You passed your degree.
I got my degree. I have a journalism degree.
You do. You just didn't work as a journalist.
I didn't become a journalist. Yeah. So I guess I failed in that regard.
Yeah. You're not out like truth seeking on a daily basis.
No, it turns out just I wasn't very good at it, or wasn't.
Didn't care enough.
I didn't. No, I do care, because I love every time I see movies about All the President's Men, so good, like Network. What's that one? That was
Michael Keaton one.
Yeah, I've
forgotten. Mark Ruffalo.
Yes. Oh, that was so good.
Pretty sure that won a few Oscars a few years ago.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Love that one. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love it. I love a journalism movie. And look, I still love you, even though you failed in the profession.
I didn't fail in the profession. I never got a chance to even try at the profession.
Because there were no jobs in journalism. Let's just say that when we graduated.
No, and I ended up working in pretty much advertising, which is pretty much the opposite of journalism. Instead of exposing the truth, I'm peddling lies.
Enough about your failed dreams. I'm out without a baby, so I'm getting some wine, I'm getting some chocolate, I'm getting some popcorn.
Why don't you listen to my failed dreams?
And I'm really looking forward to this movie. Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's head in. Okay.
Bye.
I could have been somebody.
This is a devastating security breach that was leaked out of the Pentagon. The most highly classified documents of the war.
The Times says 7,000 pages detailing how the White House has been lying about the Vietnam War for 30 years. The way they lied, those days have to be over.
Okay, people are concerned about having a woman in charge of the paper, that she doesn't have the resolve to make the tough choices.
Thank you, Arthur, for your frankness.
Let's do our jobs. Find those pages.
You're talking about exposing years of government secrets.
Is that legal?
What is it you think we do here for a living, kid?
Ben, I might have something.
It must be precious cargo.
It's just government secrets.
Oh my God, I loved that.
Yes, I loved it too.
Look, oh my God, we're actually passing a stack of newspapers on the ground outside a newsagent's for tomorrow. How appropriate.
Yes.
That's the kind of movie that I love coming out of, because it just imbues you with like a sense of excitement and passion for I don't know, for what the world should be like. It's idealistic, it's optimistic,
and it doesn't do it any harm either that it's like tinged with nostalgia for a better time. That always helps with these things, back when the press could really get into the government like that, and when it really mattered, and printing really was a big deal. It wasn't like the internet where somebody can write something and it's up 2 seconds later. You know, there's like genuine deadlines in the printing press. Is awesome.
Well, first of all that stuff is just so exciting.
Yeah, so exciting. The printing
and
press
just
is
like,
amazing.
yeah, the nostalgia of that is just brilliant, and that's where Spielberg really brought his magic to it, wasn't it? Like just the shots of I don't even know what the terminology is, but we did learn this in journalism school. But all the little like metal slots for each letter that have to be put in to create like every single page. Like he sort of really like shot the machinery in such beautiful ways,
and with the John Williams music and like so good. Probably the last half hour, I wouldn't necessarily have pegged it as a Spielberg movie, and then the last half hour was like pure Spielberg. There's
pure
a shot
magic
where they open the box and they get the Pentagon Papers, and it was like Jurassic Park or something. Then
they're looking into it with awe.
It was total Spielberg. Then the John Williams score started kicking in, all the shots started kicking in, the inspirational speeches, and it was like, oh yeah, this is Spielberg.
The most Spielberg moment for me was this isn't really a spoiler, but there's a moment where they're going to print, and then Bob Odenkirk, who plays Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad, is like sitting up at his desk in the office, and his table is like shaking. And it's just so beautiful. And like we get what you want in every newspaper movie, where the guys who in the printing press are like waiting for the call, and it's midnight, and it's like we gotta get there because the guy's gotta deliver the papers. What are we gonna do?
So
and
that
then
stuff was all so
Tom
fun.
Hanks is pacing, and it's like, are they gonna get the call? Like, I thought it was thrilling. That most of it is set over the course of one day. Really, a
couple of days, and it's really thrilling because look, whether or not you know the history of it, I mean, you can obviously guess the outcome, or they wouldn't be making the movie.
Well, let's not spoil it, because I think partly I'm not au fait with, I think Watergate is the more famous part.
I didn't know about this, to be honest.
I didn't know anything about this, so actually I found the whole thing quite thrilling, even though I pretty much could have guessed the outcome. But let's talk about maybe details on Spoiler Street. But I think Meryl Streep was superb. I thought she was probably the more interesting character in a way.
She was for sure. And like, it's so funny because you know the way like Meryl Streep's nominated every time she blows her nose, basically. But honestly, I always think, oh God, Meryl Streep's nominated again. And then I go to a movie, I'm like, oh, she's amazing. I love her. That's why she's always nominated. Like, she just knocks it out of the park. And this character, Catherine Graham, who was such an influential woman in the States, like she owned this publishing company. She was the first woman to be like CEO of a Fortune 500 company. She wrote a memoir that was actually won a Pulitzer Prize as well. Like, she's really influential, and she talked a lot about her role as a woman coming into the fore, particularly around this period with this story and with Watergate. Like, she was hugely successful as the publisher of the Post, as well as other things. And she spoke about how self-conscious she was, how she was always dismissed by men, how she had no confidence. She also spoke a lot about like equality in the workplace and mental health issues, because her husband, as is mentioned in the movie, committed suicide and suffered from mental health problems. So she's such an interesting character anyway. So I would nearly love to see like a whole movie just about her. But getting Meryl Streep to play her in this made it so, like, the character was so interesting and the portrayal was so good that it was like she was the crux of the story.
And there's a point in this where one of the characters points out she has everything to lose. It's very easy for us to rally behind Tom Hanks's. He's playing the editor. He's the classic sort of stalwart, old school newspaperman who's all about the right calls and the editorial and freedom of the press. And it's very easy for us as the audience to rally behind him because he's the inspirational one. Of course. And he knows every second of the whole movie what the right thing to do is. He knows it. She, however, is the head of a business.
Shareholders.
Yeah, she's dealing with the shareholders. It's her family's legacy. It's her business. She's got all the employees to think about, and she's got people telling her both sides of what this decision would mean. Yeah. And she definitely has the hardest.
She has the weight on her shoulders. Whereas for him, at the end of the day, and his wife points this out, which I liked, if he lost his job publishing these Pentagon papers,
another job.
He'll get another job because he'll get a pat on the back. Well, you did the right thing. You're a proper journalist. Of course, you should have published it. Like, he doesn't need to consider those things. And like, it's interesting because obviously Meryl Streep got nominated and Tom Hanks didn't, and I mean it's her movie, but even as a supporting actor he was good in it. I can't find any fault in his performance, but it didn't stand out to me. I mean I'm a Tom Hanks fan. I thought he was good. I thought it was completely serviceable, but it's probably because it's a character we've seen so much on screen played by middle-aged man.
He's literally that. He's the same editor in All the President's Men.
Yeah, it's
so
like
we've seen that man portrayed.
So, and it's not to fault Tom Hanks at all, because I really think he's good, but it didn't leap out to me. I didn't leave the movie thinking, I thought he should have been nominated.
He's great.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, did you come out thinking he's robbed of a nomination, or do you see Sam Rockwell in? I mean, he's up against Sam Rockwell in 3 Billboards. Like it's not even. They wouldn't deserve to be in the same category. Look,
No, I think Tom Hanks is superb in this. He's a lot of fun. He's energetic. It's a great character. And
it's just, I think it's a character I've seen too much.
I love Tom Hanks so
much.
Of course,
I love Tom Hanks. Everyone loves Tom Hanks.
But yeah, look, fine. Meryl Streep is absolutely the heart and soul of this movie, and she's the driving force of the whole thing.
And it's such a timely movie.
She was the more interesting character.
Like this movie to be coming out now, and they basically commissioned it last year and it was made for this year. Like, it's a really tight turnaround on this movie, and Spielberg wanted to make it now, and this is the time to make it, because freedom of the press is so at stake in America with all, like, the current president, all his, like, he's essentially attacking the freedom of the press right now. And secondly to that, really going on in America at the moment is this, really misogynistic culture against women. So to make a movie that encapsulates both of those issues and felt like it could have been made now, was it quite incredible? Felt like it could have been set now.
It's so relevant. There is a war happening right now between the state and the press in the US, and that's exactly what was happening at the same time. And the fact that it went to the Supreme Court shows how far
it's amazing,
how far it can and would go. And that, I mean, we could see something very similar happening. These
being made right now.
And
they played what we assume are the real tapes of Richard Nixon. Saying, I don't want the Washington Post anywhere near me. I don't want them in the White House. And it could have been Trump talking.
The parallels are fascinating because,
God.
well, it happened. Trump banned a whole rake of media outlets from his press room only a few months ago.
It's quite incredible. I mean, I think it was such a good idea to make the movie now. It's fascinating, and it's a Spielberg movie. It's incredibly well made. There's like this humor in it. Meryl Streep just blows everyone away, and I love the shots of her walking into rooms just full of men in suits. Like, that's her constant experience for the whole movie, and that's an accurate depiction of what it would have been like. And it's just
terrifying. It's intimidating.
It's
like
really
when she goes to meet when she goes to Wall Street, and when she meets her shareholders and all, and the board meetings, I felt like that. I mean, but that's what Spielberg's good at. He puts you there and he creates atmosphere.
And just subtle things, like at one point when the company's going to the stock exchange, that's a huge decision she used to make, to bring the company public for the sake of financial issues they're having. They haven't been public before. And she goes to stand and a man just puts his hand on her arm like, no, you sit down. And she does, because she's used to being treated like that by men. And she even says at one point, when my father gave the newspaper to my husband, I never questioned that.
She was happy.
I was happy for my husband. I always believed this should have been his job. I never held a job until I was 45 years of age, and I basically never expected to. And she's such an inspiring character. And I think the overall, we came out of it really happy, because the overall message of the movie is, they're saying we should report on the people who are being governed. That's who we owe. That's who we owe the press to. We don't owe it to the governor.
The press works for the governed, not the government.
Yeah, that was the line, and it's a fabulous line. And very on the nose for what's going on now. And aside from all the political stuff, I mean, it's just a fabulously made movie. I thought it was just so well done.
But it's absolutely thrilling.
Yeah.
Like, it's nail-biting stuff. Even if you know the outcome, even if you can guess the outcome, the minute-to-minute decisions that have to be made, all the little decisions, the obstacles that get put in front of them,
and the lawyers getting involved in the source, and like just even the way the
exciting.
source is photographed, or like they're photocopying the Pentagon Papers, and you're like, oh my god, that takes all night to do because they didn't have the technology.
All that stuff was just great. All the little technology stuff, just how the printing, like, I found it so inspirational.
It was like, if printing press porn could exist, this is it. It just makes you think,
absolutely
like, really annoyed for like how flimsy all this stuff is now. Like, somebody can just, anyone in the world can just write something on a on a laptop or on a smartphone and just publish it. And like, fake news is such a genuine issue of our times, and it's such a disgusting thing what can happen in terms of inaccurate things being reported, videos being edited that shouldn't be edited to make people look like they're doing stuff that they're not doing. Like, there's just so much crap going around the internet, and you just kind of, and I know this is rose-tinted nostalgia and all that in this movie, but it just makes you think, God, I wish there was just, you know, things wouldn't get published without an editor and without lawyers and without people really considering what they're writing down.
Anyone
before
can
they write
publish anything now.
Yeah.
And the truth,
like us, we publish this shitty podcast.
Well, it's true. Like, this wouldn't happen 30 years ago. But the truth has become elusive in our society. It really has. And
look, it's always been elusive.
Of course, but there were gatekeepers to it, and you know there are advantages to, you know, the what the internet has done is it's made more information accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
But the problem is we've kind of gone full circle in that there's too much information for anyone to disseminate, and we're all crying out for people to explain it all. And I think what's happened is, because the internet and the media has become so overwhelming, a lot of people have just become apathetic to it.
Well, you kind of retreat into your own news feeds and just read.
Well, that's another problem. We're all only reading what, you know, validates our own point of view, and I think I myself am guilty of that.
Yeah, but look, enough about our opinion on the press. We need to get back to the movie. What a cast! Every single person that popped up, I was like, "Oh, there's that actor. Oh, there's that actor."
Okay, well, the first one that struck me was Bob Odenkirk and David Cross on screen together, and that's Bob Odenkirk is famous for Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad, David Cross, Tobias from Arrested Development,
who was like barely recognisable. I just recognised his voice.
Well, he had a wig on.
Yeah, he looked weird.
But they have a comedy show, Bob and David.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Together, so it was kind of a funny casting decision to put them together. I wonder, is there a funny story behind that? And two other members of the Breaking Bad cast were in this. Jesse Plemons, who played the young lawyer, and Gail, the other Walt's other scientist friend. So a lot of weird little Breaking Bad links.
I mean, and as I said, lots of men in this movie, so they did all start blurring into each other after a point. But I enjoyed all of their performances. And
Rhonda from The Wire.
Yes, enjoyed her. Even though I just recognised her for a second. And Alison Brie, who's in Glow and also in like Community and those things. So yes, I didn't mean a stellar
really
cast.
Interesting supporting cast. Yeah. Like a lot of sort of comedy actors there.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
And even Bob Odenkirk was doing some. I thought he was probably the standout of the supporting cast for me. I mean, he had the most to do.
Yeah.
Oh no, and that other actor who's the lead from The Americans, whose name I'm forgetting.
Yes, he's great.
Is excellent as the source.
Look,
I'll never give up my sources.
I don't think we need to go to spoiler street on this one because, look, there's not really anything to spoil. We're not going to say how it ends. It's a beautifully shot movie. It's really exciting. Fantastic central performance. Now, I don't think Meryl Streep will win because I think Frances McDormand's going to win for 3 Billboards, and I think, you know, she's already won most of the awards. And that's not to take away from Meryl Streep's performance at all. It's just they're just very different roles.
Yeah.
And do you think it has a chance at Best Picture? I think everyone's saying it's going to be The Shape of Water. We haven't seen that yet.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's certainly I would like this to win Best Picture because of the message. I think it would be a fabulous message.
I don't like to get caught up in all this award
speculation.
I do.
I love award speculation because it's so political. So it's always about more than the movie because, you know, any individual movie is good, but it's like the message of it, and the message of this is very important.
Yeah, true. I mean, I wonder, is it like you say the awards are political? Like Hollywood is just notoriously left-leaning anyway, so we know what their politics are going to be. So and they're like.
Well, it's the decision of what message is most important of the movies that you're talking about.
I know, I guess.
But yeah, I think this is fabulous, and I really enjoyed it as our first proper night out.
Yeah, that was just really good really fun, and we had a wine and a coffee, and it was
fabulous.
Great date night. Would highly recommend this movie. I'm so supercharged. I wish I'd become a journalist.
There was a point in the movie when like people in the audience, ourselves probably leading it, like cheered a bit. And that was really fun. Like the audience was really into it, and I was expecting it to be like an audience of older people, and it wasn't. It was really mixed. So yeah, fun. Totally packed out on a Sunday night as well. So
I just love like that kind of Aaron Sorkin kind of magic when you've just got loads of people in a room debating important issues.
Yeah, with the right actors and the right direction, that works.
Yeah.
It could go terribly badly.
So please go see this movie.
Yeah, go see it, enjoy it.
And it is like, it's not, while it doesn't, the subject matter may not lend itself to something cinematic, Spielberg obviously brings that charm to it, and I think it is sort of great to see it on this kind of stuff on the big screen.
It's
and support this movie.
I enjoyed seeing it on the big screen, albeit I would say it wouldn't quite matter, bar the printing press stuff, if you watched it on the small screen, to be honest.
No.
Like, it's not, it's not like Saving Private Ryan or something like that, which obviously you would watch.
Spotlight was the name of the movie I was trying to think that I mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
With Michael Keaton.
Oh, yeah,
That's another, thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, I love Spotlight.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you for listening. Please follow us at The Cinemile on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and most importantly, please like and subscribe us wherever you listen to podcasts, on iTunes or Acast or any other podcast app, and leave us a
review, please.
Yeah, please.
It really helps.
Yeah.
And
All
we
right.
like it.
We like it. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
You're very brave. But Kay's in a position she never thought she'd be in. Position I'm sure plenty of people don't think she should have. And when you're told time and time again that you're not good enough, that your opinion doesn't matter as much, when they don't just look past you, when to them you're not even there, when that's been your reality for so long, it's hard not to let yourself think it's true. So to make this decision, to risk her fortune and the company that's been her entire life, well, I think that's brave.